And we're back in the Stratford Shakespeare Festival's new lobby here at the main theatre. Thank you very much to Peter and to Alex and to Carol for that look backstage at Taming of the Shrew. And we're ready to take your questions now live with Irene Poole and Lucy Peacock. And we actually have questions coming in already, so we'll turn to those. Here's a first one for both of you. What are the biggest challenges of working in a repertory theatre? I guess in general and with regards to your particular characters.
Well, I've been working in rep here now for 21 seasons over a period of 25 years. And working in rep certainly has its challenges. I think the main one would be stamina. That I think that if anything, when I've talked to actors that are new to the rep system, what they can't believe is how much stamina and not only that, I mean, not just stamina for any given day, but a very long arc all the way through to November. And but you don't want to just be working about stamina or through stamina. So, but I have to admit, personally, the rep system is one of the most exciting things about being at Stratford. I think it's just as exciting for the audience as it is for the actor. In that, that for example, today Ben Carlson is playing Hamlet, and this evening you'll see him as Grumio in Taming of the Shrew. I mean, that is an extraordinary feat in itself. That's one single day, and we're talking about 160 actors or odd who are doing that every which way, every combination, all over the map in all of 4 theaters. So I think it's truly one of the wonders of being at Stratford. Certainly from an audience point of view, and from an actor's point of view, it's at least as much about how each play feeds into the other. By doing 2 Shakespeares this year, I feel certainly that the one so feeds into the other. All of a sudden you're speaking the language of Shakespeare hours a day, and you're talking his language through 2 different sort of kaleidoscopes, and that is so interesting for a classical actor, I think, and it's really exciting. It's fantastic.
And Irene, this is your first year at Stratford, so how is the rep system here at Stratford settling in for you?
It's been really interesting, actually, because with Taming of the Shrew, we worked slightly differently in that we rehearsed in a block of time for about 8 weeks. We actually previewed, or dress rehearsed on March 14th, but then didn't open until May 31st, so it was a slightly different schedule. But the rep system, I find, it's very satisfying to one night, one afternoon, be supported by all these wonderful actors, and then the next night to go out and support somebody else. It's a great system that way.
How was that putting the show to bed and then bringing it back? Were there a lot of changes and development that happened between January and now when you're doing the show? Yeah,
I'd say it certainly got clearer and deeper. We did get together once a week to either review the entire play, or one half one week, the other half the next. It was a very interesting settling down process. I really enjoyed it, actually.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. I mean, I think it was a bit, it was new, and it was certainly new to this rep system, that to rehearse a show like a stock rehearsal process and then put it away and then come back. Now, apparently, though, it used to be done quite frequently. Many years ago, Robin Phillips, I think, used to do that on a regular basis. It was good. I mean, I think we were in very good hands with Mr. Hinton, Peter Hinton, because he was very sensitive to what the actors were, possibly what may be any kind of problem that might arise from doing something like that, and certainly addressed it as soon as we were back in rehearsal. So it was good. And it deepened the show. And not only that, there was something really quite fantastic about the ensemble became very, very tight. And the ensemble, meaning the group of actors, became extraordinarily dependent on each other to maintain the vision and/or the inside motor and the feeling and the commitment to the show. And we had to do it sort of on our own for a few weeks. So I think that was really fantastic for the company of the Taming of the Shrew company.
Yeah. And of course, you mentioned Peter Hinton, the director of Taming of the Shrew. He's also doing Shakespeare's Universe this year, and he's been doing a lot of research into the lives of women in Shakespeare's day. I'm wondering if that research affected Taming of the Shrew in any evident way.
Quite a bit, yes. Peter did a lot of research into the time when this play was actually written, so late 1590s or mid 1590s, and found a great deal of information about particularly how women were treated in society at that time, and that fed directly into this production of Taming of the Shrew, with things like the cucking stool and other Elizabethan.
There's really quite an alarming opening scene in Shrew this year, and I wonder, it of course is about this, and I wonder if you could just, one of you, tell us a little bit about what goes on in that scene, and I'll ask you a follow-up question after you do that.
Okay. Sure. Well, one of the things that women were subjected to during this time was a device called the cucking stool, whereby a woman who was determined to be a scold or a shrew was strapped to a chair, and it was a very torturous-looking device. But the woman
looks a bit like a catapult, actually, in a way, or sort of way.
It does. But she would be actually dunked into a body of water. They did this. They hauled the woman through the street and dunked her into water.
Modern waterboarding,
violent
is it?
and strange. Yes, exactly.
I mean, it's actually a bit reminiscent, though, also of the Monty Python,
the witch scene.
The witch scene, actually, a banner, you know, she's a duck, you know.
Does she weigh more than a duck? Yeah, she wouldn't.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a pretty brutal opening. I personally haven't had a lot of feedback on that, like from the audience, as to how it's received or not received in a positive or negative way. I mean, I think, you know, what's brilliant about it is that it's a sort of precursor to the play. I mean, that's what happens, and then we have the induction, which is a part of the play that isn't done very often, which puts this whole production in context, wherein Queen Elizabeth actually comes into the play. So
I've had a couple of people who've said from the opening they were so shocked that they just want to immediately rewind and watch it again because it's so unexpected, and they don't, you know, it takes them a moment to go,
what
happened?
What's
going on?
Well, and to understand what's going on to her, and why she's being dunked into all of this water, and why these other people are appearing. But
it's very exciting, though. It's a sort of opening that I think, wow, I would love to sit out and
see it.
Watch this.
Yeah, I'd love to see it too.
It's very exciting.
Yeah. Do you think that Kate would, because of her social status, be protected from this kind of torture? Or
no, I don't think so. No, she's protected in the sense right now she's not married. So it's often, I think during those times, it was the husband who could say, yes, go ahead and dunk my wife. But there's nobody really who can do that to Kate yet. And I don't think Petruchio would dare.
We have some more questions here from the audience. A very basic one. What are your favorite Shakespeare plays and roles? That's a quickie for each of you ladies.
Kate, Taming of the Shrew.
Okay, there you go. Of course. That's what I was going to say, too. I mean, I think it's often the one you're doing right at the moment. I mean, I am having the time of my life in Romeo and Juliet with the nurse, too. That's a new. Well, actually, it's not that new because I played Amelia last year in Othello, and what it is, though, is looking at Shakespeare from a slightly different perspective, from the servants' sort of quarters. You know, it's like the upstairs, downstairs, and I lived upstairs for many, many years, and now I'm sort of moving into the downstairs area, but with Grumio and with the nurse, and I really I'm loving seeing what he, you know, feeling and experiencing where he places those people and where their love and loss it could be as well, and I find that very exciting. But I mean, you know, all of them. Rosalind, I guess, my absolute fave for all time, I guess, in As You Like It.